If I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I want to die with shitty clothes in my closet, I want to be in debt, and I want to leave a lot of things unfinished. I know this doesn't sound like the best way to go out. And that's actually part of the point. A couple of those things happen to be most people's greatest fears. And whether we realize it or not, some of our greatest fears actually spawn smaller fears and hesitations that infiltrate our decisions every single day. So if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I want to face all of those fears, great and small, head on. So what does my clothes have to do with that? This is my favorite shirt. I love this shirt. It's a color I like. I think it's a color I look good in. It's a good length. It's snug where I want it to be snug. It's loose where it needs to be loose. I feel super hot when I wear this shirt. I also feel strong and powerful, and I feel confident. When I pass a reflective surface, doesn't matter what it is, and I see myself in this shirt, I'm like, that is me, and that's how I want to feel every day. Someone could spit on me in this shirt, and I would have a great day after. So you'd think on a Sunday when I do my laundry that Monday morning I would come and I'd throw my closet open, there would be the shirt ready to wear, and I'd pull it out, and I'd put it on, and I would have the best Monday ever. But I don't do that all the time, and I'm willing to bet a few of you don't either. Because maybe I have a date on Friday, and I want to wear this shirt on Friday instead. So I leave it in the closet, and I pull some other shirt out, and I wear that. And then I pull some other shirt out the next day. What's the point? Wear the shirt, Derek. You're going to get hit by a truck tomorrow. So why do I leave the shirt in the closet if it makes me feel so good? And it's actually just a little fear, a tiny itty-bitty fear that the guy I go out with is not going to like me as much if I'm not wearing this shirt. And of course that fear feeds the larger fear of being alone. Things like this bleed into our other behaviors as well, like when we eat or don't eat. So you had a really rotten weekend, and Monday morning you get into work and someone brought a box of donuts, you open it up, oh my God, there's a chocolate old-fashioned in there, and there's only ever one in the box. That pink box only ever has one of those, and you want it real bad. But you say, no, I'm not going to eat that donut because I'm going out with my friends on Friday and we're going to have a big meal and I'm going to get drunk and all those calories. Okay, shut up. Eat the damn donut and enjoy your Monday morning after that shitty weekend because you could get hit by a truck tomorrow. But mostly because it's going to make you feel good. And when you get to dinner on the weekend, you can decide then if you don't want to have dessert or if you want to eat less. You're all adults. If I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I also want to die in debt. I'm not talking about massive amounts of debt, like saddling my family with this huge bill. Certainly not. I'm talking about a manageable, subtle kind of debt. For years, I lived without debt. No debt. From the time I was 17 to 33, I had a zero balance on my credit cards. And I was so proud of myself. Look what I have done. My dad was a banker. And at 33, though, I started to realize at a party that everyone else had stories to tell, places they've been, things that they've done. And I looked at the previous 15, 14 years and thought, what the? How that started and how it changed is an interesting story. At 17, like I said, my dad was a banker. I moved out of the house, got to school, and decided that having that zero balance was extremely important. I met a friend from Paris at the time, and we became really great friends for 2 years while he was here on an exchange program. We went some places on a budget and had a wonderful time. He moved back to Paris. And at that point, he started to say, Derek, you need to come visit. You can stay with me. You don't need to pay for a hotel. I'll show you around the city. It will be so awesome. Every night, my friends will come over. It'll be a party. But I said, I can't. I don't have the money. I was so married to that zero balance that I didn't realize until I was 33 that I had no debt because I had no life. And that party was a wake-up call. I went home, I pulled out that credit card that I'd had for over a decade with a zero balance on it, and I bought my plane ticket to Paris. I went there, I spent 2 weeks. My friend could only take 2 days off, and the rest of the time I was on my own. I walked the city alone, I knew enough French to get around. I had the time of my life. And he was right, he invited his friends over every night, and it was a party for 2 weeks. When I got back, I had a little debt. And it was totally worth it. Lastly, if I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I want to leave a lot of things unfinished. This is a huge fear for people because this means loose ends. You're leaving loose ends at the end of your life. Someone coming into your house, finding your mess, going through your computer. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about big things, leaving big things undone. 13 years ago, I finished writing a novel. It took me 5 years to do it. It's 600 pages. And I felt so accomplished when I was done. I loaded it up to Kindle. There's a copyrighted version with the Library of Congress. I feel totally fulfilled by this accomplishment. I could just say I'm done. Great. But the thing is, a project like that spawns other projects. And it led to 2 sequels and 1 prequel that I have yet to finish. And I probably never will. And that is totally cool. I hope to finish it. I want to finish it. But I might not. I'm also writing a bunch of music. Some will get recorded and some won't. By the time I reach my end of the end of my life, whether it's by a truck tomorrow or 50 years from now, I will hope to continue doing things, big things, and leave big things behind. Because the alternative is to live like my grandmother did. When she turned 70, she decided that was it. I'm 70, I'm old. I shouldn't book that trip to Paris. You never know what's going to happen. I don't want to start a big project. I might not be around to finish it. And the difference here is there's a little fear on both sides. She was afraid of getting hit by that truck the next day. For her, it wasn't if I get hit. It was when. When I get hit by that truck, I want no debt. I wanted to have no loose ends. So that's what she did. She tied everything up. When she died, she left a house that we had to sell and a car to offload. We walked into her house and she had piles and piles of crossword puzzle books. And they were all finished. She lived crossword puzzle to crossword puzzle because there is very little investment, very little to lose, very little to owe by sitting at home and doing nothing. Her closet was full of all her best clothes. She went nowhere. She lived for 16 years in relative good health on her ass. I absolutely refuse to live like that. And I refuse to die like that. And all of you should refuse that as well. And one more thing. If I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I'm going to bust that fucking truck up. Mr. Toastmaster.